What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off with data, we do have inflation coming out Wednesday evening at 8:30. Current forecast year over year is flat at 0. Month over month is negative 0.4. So that could really help at least Chinese stocks. We do have CPI coming out in the States on Thursday. Then you have also the Michigan consumer sentiment that is on Friday. So that could move the broader market, and obviously through that, NIO through algorithmic trading. So this is a quick summary of that. So FOMC minutes on Wednesday, CPI on Thursday, PPI, and then Michigan consumer sentiment, as I mentioned. But right now, going into this upcoming week, expectations are very low. Fear and greed index is under the extreme fear category, so that is 4. So a lot of people are assuming Armageddon is going to happen, that we're going to head into a global recession. A lot of individuals, even including Jim Cramer, stating that a Black Monday type of scenario is going to play out. So maybe inverse might happen, hopefully, but futures or the overnight trading does open in a couple hours. So we'll wait and see what comes from that. Same goes for the Chinese stock market. Opens in 4 hours, 6 minutes, and 37 seconds. So we'll have a little bit of a better viewpoint on what to potentially expect for this upcoming week. But you do see crypto starting to pull back, and so this is usually a good indication of people's appetite for risk. So unfortunately, this might be a representation of what does happen with the broader market. And on Friday, NIO did hit a 52-week low of $3.20. It did bounce off of that and kind of moved higher, but still not necessarily the best. Shorts did return on Friday, 1.1 million shares, but going into this upcoming week, 14.98% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 217.08 million shares. And so, yeah, I did a top 5 most heavily shorted EV stock video earlier today, and I believe NIO was stock number 3, so it's very heavily shorted compared to what they actually do and everything. But yeah, I think there isn't really anything planned for NIO either for this upcoming week aside from registration numbers. But one thing did come out over this weekend, and it does look as though that the layoffs in Europe, which were kind of, I think that started to float around early last week, it looks like they're starting it. So kind of a good thing, kind of bad. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see how all this does play out. But what's your general thoughts on, I guess, them laying off in Europe? I know NIO isn't doing all that well in Europe in general, so it's kind of the logical thing. But in reality, like, BYD is kicking ass in Europe. So it's not the fact that there's lack of demand, because there is demand there. It's just NIO's marketing and clearly their infrastructure is lackluster. But still, nonetheless, layoffs are starting to occur, so might be good for the bottom line potentially. But aside from that, looking at the options, so you do see consensus for this week for it to be roughly around that $4 range. That's the bulls. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 3. So kind of crazy in that regard. No new analyst ratings, which is what I find very odd, is that NIO did put out their monthly numbers and we haven't had a single rating, which doesn't happen. Normally we get at least 2 or 3 ratings. So maybe they might be coming this week, or maybe there's just too much fear in the broader market that they're kind of not even caring. I don't know. What's your general thoughts on all of that? But aside from that, going into this upcoming week, technicals look absolutely horrific. So even beside like all the recent fear that started Thursday, Friday, NIO's technicals were already starting to play out similar to October, when it did go massively down, because you have the super trend indicator very bearish, and that did start on March the 25th. So I think we might have another scenario where this plays out, where it just goes down like a good 20-30%. And yeah, unfortunately, NIO's like the only positive thing about the technicals is that it is rather oversold. So a good piece of news, or let's say we do have some agreement coming from tariff, whether it be China backing down, you have maybe the States easing off a little bit, that could be enough to really push a lot of stocks higher. But as of right now, I think the market is just waiting on the edge of their seat for Europe just to see what type of level of retaliation that they do hit the States with, because that would start probably 2.0 in tariffs. So yeah, we'll just have to kind of, it sucks to say wait and see, but even Powell recently stated, like, we just have to wait and see to like follow the data. What are all these tariffs going to do to the data? Is it just all this being blown out of proportion? Is this justified? Are we going to have another 08 type of recession, or is it going to be worse? Like, nobody essentially knows. One thing to take note of though, Daniel Ives, who has been a very big bull in a lot of innovative companies, has started to downgrade his price targets. More notably over the weekend was Tesla. So I think there's even the bullish analysts out there are kind of self-aware of what is happening. So I think all in all, you will definitely see another new 52-week low with NIO hit this week. Just as far as where, you kind of have to follow this. So with it at $3.46, it is trading between this S1 and this S2. $3.10 will be a strong support, followed by $2.37. Flip side, $3.56 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So I think all in all, you could see it trade between this S2 and this S3. I don't see the S3 being hit unless, like I said, Europe comes back and they hit like the States, or things really escalate. But definitely I feel like it will be either in the very, very low threes or high twos. So let me know your general thoughts. Do you think that this week we're going to have a nice recovery? Are we going to be in for like a bloodbath? What's your general kind of 2 cents on all that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, or crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point. Definitely worth a while to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.